Good morning, everyone. So we're here today to record another podcast. This time we are connecting to Nigeria. We are going to talk today about Bakog Foundation. We have with us Mano, who is representing the foundation and is going to give us a bit of introduction about what exactly are they doing. I know that they are very busy these days. They are on the field working on one of their activities, and therefore I also don't want to consume a lot of their time because there are more important things out there to be done. Nevertheless, because we want to inspire you to also do more, and we also want you to know about the fantastic work they are doing out there. Let's just talk it through and learn a bit more about it. Mano, before we go a bit more in detail to the work you're doing, help me out who you are, how did you come to this foundation? It doesn't matter the role you play in the foundation, what is relevant is why you're doing it and how do we get to know you?
Okay. Uh, as I've said, the name is Emmanuel. The owner of the foundation happens to be my uncle, basically. So it's easy for me to come in. And I've always had this passion to help. Yeah. So like when you see someone in need, you tend to to lend a helping hand or so. So being that he now came up with the idea of Bakog Foundation, I'm like, well, this is like a launch pad to be able to even to impact on lives in the society. Because as we go around on a daily basis, as green as the world might seem, if we look behind the green, there are a few gray areas that need touching. So Bakog Foundation created a platform that I needed to be able to help lives. You see, seeing someone in need smile, it goes a long way, honestly. At least it's obvious that you've impacted their life in one way, no matter how small.
So you are based out of Lagos, right?
Yeah, no, I am based in Lagos as well.
Lagos as well, yeah. So I went through a bit of what you guys are doing, and when I talked to Cole a few weeks ago, he was explaining me that you try to tackle kind of three areas. So the poverty through fighting hunger, hygiene,
Yeah,
and clothing, right? Um, what kind
definitely.
of what kind of operations do you do? How do you go out there and help people? What is your mode? What is your operating model?
Well, basically we prospect at first when we have a program in mind. Then we check a targeted area whereby we feel will have the most impact. But basically, like you mentioned hygiene, for example, I think August 2 years ago, we visited a secondary school somewhere we visited 10 schools basically in Bariga and other areas is to educate the young girl child as to their personal hygiene because we have some young adults growing lately and they don't know how to look after themselves being women. So we thought of nipping the problem in the bud, visiting them in the children in the GSS and the SS2. We give them lectures, then we provide sanitary towels. We even got assistance from foundations like-minded as ours from abroad in the US. And it really did went a long way to have them support us on that level. Yes, as well, we moved to support people in terms of hunger, but we also provide aid because it's not just about feeding the person, but reforming the person's life that they stand on their own and then being able to impact life from there on. So we turn the stones one at a time. The goal is SDG 2030. So it's not just about going out randomly and feeding different people because if you go around, you will not get anything done. But despite going out trying to feed the people, we select one person and we focus enough energy in that person that by the time the person look at themselves tomorrow, they'll be like, wow, my life has changed. Being that my life has changed, let me help someone else. So if he helps someone else and that person also helps someone else, we've created a ripple and that act of kindness keeps going. And if it keeps on like that, before you know it, we would have saved a lot of numbers with just one single act of kindness, basically.
It's a very interesting concept, and it's good that you mentioned that because, well, at least not what in my mind, but a lot of people believes that just by giving food you are solving the problem, and I'm not saying that that's not a good thing. You should always help people, but as you rightfully said, you need to make it something that you need to also do more, right, and help making it sustainable so we can create a more ripple effect on help and people helping others as well. um,
Yeah.
um, So I don't know much about Lagos. I don't know much about Nigeria. I've been there just once, but help me out understanding the situation out there, because this is also for awareness and people. We have a lot of organizations that are coming from Europe to help there, but you guys are local, and that is for me super interesting because it shows that people in those places they can also do something. We don't necessarily need to bring always someone from somewhere else. So
Yeah,
help
true.
me understanding how is the situation out there, because I know that you guys face quite challenging environment, and I think others should also learn about it.
Yeah, well, okay. Nigeria basically is rough, as in a few people find it hard to live by the day, especially when you wake up early in the morning and decide to take a drive by around past 4 a.m. in the morning. You see countless people sleeping under the bridge, or some just wandering around the roads, and you know they are tattered looking, they are helpless. The light is out of them, but once in a while, when we see them and we have enough, we just lend a helping hand because we don't have enough resources to cure a problem, but we can at least soothe it a bit and redeem them out of the troubles they are in. Like later today, after this interview, basically, I'll be visiting a neighborhood called Makoko in Lagos because we are intending to visit the place next for an outreach. So we learned that a few of them live in swamps and it reeks. Some live on planks on water, black waters, and it harbors mosquito. It is health wise, it's not it's not advisable for anyone, but still there are some people who live there. They even have a school on the water for children as well, which is very bad because of polios and everything we have on outside now. Nigeria's weather is friendly, but yet it is harsh. It is good for some, it is bad for the others. If you come out at night in Lagos, because everybody seems busy during the day, so you don't get to see their secrets. But if you come out in the night, like around 11 p.m., 12 p.m., you get to see children. A child of 4 years old, naked, just lying down on the street. And you wonder, don't they have parents? Don't they have healthcare? But we can't always blame the government. So we rely on one, two people to always support us in order to help people like us those. Because if we deny the fact, if we want to look at another perspective, lack of assistance are what gives rise to rising crime in the country. So one way or the other, if things aren't done early, then we get to create more problems than what we already have on ground.
But do you think, and this is probably just a curiosity, but do you think it is getting better, with a more awareness around the world,
Yep.
or do you think it's there's a lot of media, but at the end the things are just not really improving so much?
Well, there are a lot of media to that effect, but the media is not really doing so much work, but because Nigerians are kind of dogmatic basically in thinking. So they see it as maybe one foundation sees an opportunity to rip them off the little money they have left. And they themselves see the people who are in actual need, but most people tend to turn a blind eye. So they'd be like, I don't care, what's my problem? There are other people, we would take it upon ourselves to try to help. One will put out the word, we try to publicize, but out of 100, maybe two or three tend to lend a helping hand towards the cause. So we all get to make do of the little we get.
Kola told me that you have about, I forgot the number, but you have quite a lot of volunteers, right?
Yeah, we have a lot.
And how does that work? So you guys get them through your social media to
Yes.
to ask for help, and how is that engagement? How do you feel these people are feeling about this cause? Because I must admit, and I tell you I can't understand what does that mean, right? So I was not born and raised in a place like that, and therefore I don't have a way to tell you, oh God, that's so bad, and I understand. I don't, and I'm really genuinely telling you that I'm curious because I want people to understand what you guys are doing. So we also have less of 2 or 3 people out of 100 helping. So we need to
Yeah.
be able that people need to make sure that people understands that the situations, not just in Nigeria, but in so many other places are rough. And if we
Yeah.
don't do something and we keep on focusing on irrelevant things in life, this will not get better. So
Sure.
talk to me about your volunteers, because those are the people, those are fantastic people that are doing something for a much bigger cause, and I like to talk about them because without them, neither you
Yeah,
neither we
no.
can do anything, right?
Yeah, definitely. To us, our volunteers are first class citizens. because they don't just give in cash, they give in kind. It takes a lot to want to give your time to a cause. For you to give your time, you have to actually believe in. And the volunteers we have, they don't just give their time, they give their body, they give their sweat. The last outreach they had last year at Sabo, there's a community created for people who are in need, basically. Yeah, the kids were dirty, the adults were weakened, but our volunteers did not even care. They were all hugging and playing. Even a few videos that have gone around social media, when when the children see the camera, they all yell selfie time, and the volunteers come in to like hug and play with the kids. It's to us, it's something we can't repay them, that's for sure. Because without them, what we do would never surface. Because we just be like wasting our time. Because they are the bulk work of all what we do. We just plan, they execute, and execution is the main deal of the whole program. So everywhere we go, they stand to represent 1,000%. And I must say, we really thank them so much, and they really, really know how great and a high esteem we hold them.
How is the financial support you're getting? And I'm asking these questions because when I was preparing this podcast, I talked to you guys, and I remember a very painful statement from you guys saying this is getting really exhausting. We're not getting enough support. It's all coming out of our own. And talk to me a little bit about it. So you have a lot of people helping, volunteers. You have a lot of places you want to go. You have a lot of communities you are trying to help. But what kind of financial support or resources? You don't have to have financial. I think someone told me sometimes just even providing food and providing medical medicines and stuff like that. But what kind of help are you getting?
Well, on each outreach, basically, we discovered that people find it hard to give out cash because due to trust issues in Nigeria as we speak. So most of the time we offer that instead of giving us cash, we would even prefer they buy what we need. We would just go there and pick it up from them. Sometimes noodles, sometimes bag of rice, sometimes condiments, items usable for the needy to cook or to donate. So we even used clothes. At least we have someone who on a regular basis give us used clothes shipped in from abroad. So when she sorts them out, she calls us up in bags, we go and pick them up. Sometimes if it's just clothes we have, we will just pick a random community in the area that we know they need clothes the most. And we just visit them, but kids and adults and all. Financials, and even the last one we did, 60% of all cash spent on logistics and all came from our pockets. Like the other things we got were donated from friends and families to help support the cause. But on social media, we will put out words. I would say what came in is almost to none. So it's been rough and exhausting, sometimes frustrating, but we still have to keep pushing.
Yeah, because that's interesting. When I asked you guys about your for example Instagram, I remember to see a lot of followers, and I think it was you or Carlos, one of you told me, yeah, but most of those people are just reaching out for help.
Yeah.
They're not reaching out to help, they are reaching out because they need help. And that is it just struck my mind, like
our DMs blow up every day.
Yes. You know, to build that logistics that you have to do to carry so many things and bring so many things to the locations you go, how do you organize all this structure, all these logistics? Is you and Kola, do you have more people helping you with that? How do you get that out? Because that's a lot of work to get it out.
Oh well, we have a few volunteers who give our time during the week to come support us, and sometimes as well we leave our private lives to get into the business and make sure everything is done. Because if we don't do it, no one else will. So, like me, for example, I'm in charge of logistics. How we get the thing, how we move the thing to the location, then somebody else takes over dispersing. So basically, that is why we still appreciate our volunteers still, because when they all come, they all plan themselves. Those who take the traffic, those who take the sharing, those who take the sorting, they all brand themselves. So we will just be ahead. All we need is just to get the thing there. The volunteers already know what to do, and we appreciate that they give their time and they give their mind towards what they pledge their support for.
So you are responsible for logistics. So I work in logistics, and I know how complicated it can be.
Very complicated.
what kind of when you take things to some of those locations you go, and I remember to see some of them are quite rough as well. Um, what kind of a reaction do you get from the locals first? What kind of problems you're facing to implement some of those outreaches you're doing? And third, what are the learnings you are taking out of these different outreaches you're doing, so this becomes more efficient?
Yeah, well, on every outreach, we only have one particular problem. Most locations are hooligan saturated. So imagine you coming to do a society good and you have to pay the touts in the neighborhood just so you can do the community good. So once we settle the tout, from there on it becomes easy. The community receives us with all the joy in their heart. At least I know of that disabled community we went to the last time. They must not see our flyer, they're already dancing because they know that when we come to do them well. So the energy from them is always positive, 1000%. At least that I can assure you of, because there's nowhere we go to, it definitely will feel the impact that Bakog Foundation was there. But aside the tout and all, and the lessons we learned, we at least one lesson is always constant. No matter how small, it goes a long way. Even if it's just a pack of noodles we take to the place, and one person gets to pick out of it, at least the smile, as in the joy. Okay, let me give you a better example again. January 1st, a friend came from the US to want to support the needy. Though I wasn't in any of the pictures, but I was in the background. Because everybody understands that the 1st of January is like a year of celebration, everybody having their time in their own family, private lives and all. But someone took it upon himself to came out and say, let's go give the community food. A girl hugged the sponsor of the program in tears. I had to tell the cameraman to take a picture of that because I felt emotional at that point, because even if she didn't say it, but it was clear in her eyes that you came to help me when I least expected it. Thank you. That was what I got from the expression of the girl, because who would want to leave their own families during Thanksgiving for the new year? But someone else did, and the girl appreciated it. So things like that is what we look out for in every outreach we go for. And on every outreach we go for, we definitely get that good reaction, because what we are going out for is to impact lives in ways more than one. And we sure impact lives in many more ways again.
When did you start this foundation? When did you guys start this foundation?
2017, December 15th.
2015?
2017, December 15th.
Okay. So, and how many of these programs or outreaches, you call it, have you done in the past 2 years?
I have lost count, I must say. But if I'm going to give it a round figure, I would say around 25, 26.
So that's a lot. And for everyone to understand what we're talking about, because 26 in more or less 3 years,
Yeah.
it's huge, right? Because the entire the work that you have to put down to do all the logistics and to collect and to bring there and to make this execute it's a lot of work.
Definitely.
How can people help you? And I know this is usually we try to make it a bit more to the positive message, but I think you guys are doing such an outstanding work that I also want to figure out if there is ways that people can help you. And I know that you have your website, there is donations, but if I want to finish this call and do something to help you, what are the best ways for someone that is not in Lagos to help you?
There are more ways to help us. You can help us in terms of finances, and if that is not possible, we prefer raw food items, clothing, slippers, towels, bathing, school items for children, because we have so many public schools in Nigeria, basically, that are underfunded. Because you see an average child going to school without school bags or tattered school uniform. They don't even have, some even go to school in bedroom slippers. So those are areas we try to fit in, at least, even if we cannot help the adults so much, we should focus on the younger generation, give them something to look forward to. Even if the future doesn't have a light, we can, by our help, buy the light for them. change their outward look, give them a better chance at education, because for a mind that wants to explore, it has to be well educated. And we have to create the right environment for them to be educated. So finances, raw food items basically, and clothing. Those three things, those three things we are very strong of, and other footwears to support children as well. But finances is not major.
How is the overall education in Nigeria? How is that working these days? And as I said, I don't know so much about it, but how do you feel that the new generations are being educated and prepared to also think about the fact that you need to do more to get the country in a better place? Well, what is your opinion about it?
Well, true, we have to do more, but do we have the platform to do more? Is the question. Because it's not just about, because they've made the country so bastardized that it's not about what you study, it's about who you know. So if we can change that mindset, I believe Nigeria can go better places.
Interesting. So you think there is, even if people want to do more, the entire system is not helping, right?
No, the entire system is not helping, because there are plenty. At least last week during my commuting in Lagos, I met a master's holder driving a tricycle.
Okay.
I think I wouldn't know he was a master's holder if an argument had not ensued between him and another commuter, because I was shocked to hear that a tricycle rider has a master's degree. So if the country ain't that bad, why would a master's holder be driving a tricycle?
Yeah, it's it's um that's a very strong statement. I'm trying to create in my mind an understanding of how many more of this work like you guys are doing is being done around Nigeria, and I've started with Nigeria, but I also want to figure out other countries. Do you feel that the organizations coming from Europe and from North America that are not exactly local, are they really helping you guys? Do you feel that this is contributing something, or is a lot of media facade type of? And I'm very openly asking. I don't have a clear opinion, but I'm curious about it.
No. They are working in the little way they can. At least they don't just come on their own. They partner with locals on ground so they can go to targeted area which the need is most needed. This is no media facade at all, because no matter how little they come, the impact is felt. Because when they come, they ask for foundations like us or sister foundations to help point them in the direction they need to go. So the impact is 100% felt, and they are welcome more over and over again.
Okay, and that's very important, and I want people to also listen to that. Sometimes I have had other guests that have faced different experiences where this was not really operating very well. But I'm happy that you are saying that, because I don't want people to think that they shouldn't help just because they are not there. We are coming to a close to an end, and I wanted to take the last minutes for you to leave us a bit of your message of the mission of your project. I call it project, but it's of course a foundation. For people to think about Bakog Foundation and think about Nigeria and Lagos when they listen to this, and they go home thinking, hell, what these guys are doing is just fantastic, and I want to do more about it. Just leave us something that makes it powerful for people to listen to that.
Well, our mission basically is for people to think we're reforming lives whenever they hear the name Bakok Foundation. Anywhere they hear Bakok Foundation, they know we are going there to reform lives basically. It's our mission to go out there, not just to feed, but to reform lives. At least make people sustain themselves. Because there's no point in helping the person today and the person comes to you tomorrow again. So help the person today to the point whereby the person can stand on his own and say, yes, thanks to Bakok Foundation, I am standing. So I as well can lend a helping hand. It's not just As of today, as we speak to you now, we have 2 fashion designers who are on their own through us because they reached out to us and said they needed help in getting industrial machines and the like. It was expensive at first, but we found our way around it. And today they are masters of their own in the field. Souls like that we home to gain. Souls like that we hope to promote. So
Okay.
there's a food vendor as well who was at the edge of bankruptcy basically. So it was just today we just took a stroll in the community and we saw her and we felt she needed help. So we spoke to her and we said, what does she need now to support her business? She said she needs money. So how much would she need? She gave an amount, but we felt it was too low considering the fact that if she continues that way, she would go under again. So we had to give her times 3 of what she requested for, enough for her to sustain herself. As of today, she has expanded.
Okay. Thank you very much. The last thing I would ask you is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if people want to do something for Bakog Foundation, they can reach out via your website, right? It's everything in there,
Yes,
everything people need to know.
Yes, everything is there. All they need to know.
Cool. Just for everyone to know, we are doing this podcast live from Nigeria. Bakog is today working on outreach that they want to do, and therefore Mano is connecting via his cell phone. And I really appreciate the effort he made to connect to us, because I know that it's not the ideal conditions. But our project is also about that. It's not about making everything look professional. It's about sharing real stories, real people, and if it doesn't look professional, I also don't care, because what really matters is the message. So thank you very much for everything you told us. I think it's a very inspiring message, and I genuinely hope that this also helps you guys to get more support.
Thank you so much for your time.